Hi, I am Rajendra Bade. Today we will study biaxial and triaxial loading. Also, we are going to study today relation between lateral strain and longitudinal strain and what exactly Poisson's ratio is. So let's start. Here is a bar of length L and diameter D, and it is acted upon by axial force. So very common situation we have considered up till now. Axially loaded bar of uniform cross section. Now it has been observed that under action of force along its axis, its length increases. It has been observed that dimensions perpendicular to the line of force also change. Under the action of force, dimensions change. Strain along line of load, that is longitudinal strain. In this example, strain in length is longitudinal strain, and longitudinal strain is stress upon Young's modulus. This is what we have studied earlier. The strain we were talking about earlier, that was longitudinal strain, and longitudinal strain is stress upon Young's modulus. Or you may write it in this manner, P upon AE. P is the load and this is cross-sectional area that is perpendicular to the load line. So this is the load and this is cross-sectional area perpendicular to the load line. Now strain perpendicular to the load line is lateral strain. So in this example, strain in diameter is lateral strain. Strain in diameter means change in diameter divided by original diameter. This ratio is lateral strain. So lateral strain in this case is strain in diameter and longitudinal strain in this case is strain in length. Strain in dimension along load line is longitudinal strain and strain in dimension perpendicular to the load line, that is lateral strain. So in this case, strain in diameter is a lateral strain. French scientist Simon Poisson has related or brought to our notice that is lateral strain is directly proportional to longitudinal strain and corresponding constant of proportionality is named as Poisson's ratio. So lateral strain is nu times longitudinal strain. So this notation nu is used for Poisson's ratio. And now try to understand why this negative sign is used here. Lateral strain is directly proportional to longitudinal strain but opposite. Opposite in the sense when length along or dimension along line of force increases, dimensions perpendicular to the line of force decreases. So we say that lateral strain is opposite to longitudinal strain. If it is increase in dimension along the load, it is certainly decrease in dimension perpendicular to the load. Or if it is decrease in dimension along the load, it is increase in dimension perpendicular to the load. That is why we say that lateral strain is opposite to longitudinal strain. And nu is that notation used for Poisson's ratio. So here lateral strain is nu times longitudinal strain. So lateral strain in this diagram is strain in diameter. Strain in diameter is nu times P upon AE. So strain in length is P upon AE and strain in diameter is nu times P upon AE. So remember, this is very important. Longitudinal strain is stress upon Young's modulus, that is P upon AE. Lateral strain is nu times longitudinal strain and lateral strain is therefore nu times P upon AE. Now take this example. It is a rectangular bar of length L, width B and thickness T. It is acted upon by a force which is along its length. Line of force is along its length. So in this case, strain in length is longitudinal strain. But when length increases, width reduces. So longitudinal strain is strain in length, and lateral strain is strain in thickness, as well as lateral strain is strain in width. Since lateral strain is nu times longitudinal strain, we can say here strain in width and strain in thickness is nu times strain in length, but negative. So remember, longitudinal strain is P upon AE and lateral strain is nu times P upon AE. Longitudinal means along the line of force, and perpendicular to the line of force means strain in width and strain in thickness. Strain in width and strain in thickness both are lateral strains, nu times P upon AE. Consider this example. Here is a rod of width B, thickness T and length L. Now if the rod is acted upon by compressive force and load line is along the length of the bar, then length reduces. Length reduces, but lateral dimensions increase, that is width increases, thickness also increases. So in this case, strain in length is negative. So longitudinal strain is strain in length in this case also, and it is negative, and therefore lateral strain, strain in thickness, and lateral strain, strain in width. Since it is opposite to longitudinal strain, negative strain means corresponding dimension has reduced, and positive strain means corresponding dimension has increased. So again remember, longitudinal strain is P upon AE and lateral strain, in this case lateral strain perpendicular to the line of force strain is strain in width and strain in thickness is nu times P upon AE. Now here is a bar. Under action of forces, dimensions change, and because dimensions change, therefore volume of bodies change. So as an example, we have considered here a rectangular block. Change in volume divided by original volume, that is volumetric strain. Now volume of rectangular block, simple, length into height into width. Now using logarithm rule, using logarithmic product rule, we can write log V is equal to log L plus log H plus log B. Now differentiate this equation, and what you get is dV upon V is dL upon dL plus dH upon H plus dB upon B. So dL, that is that infinitesimally small change in length divided by original length. So dL upon L is strain in length, dH upon H is strain in height, and dB upon B is strain in width. So in short, we can say volumetric strain of a rectangular block is strain in length plus strain in width plus strain in thickness. Now consider a cylinder of length L and diameter D. What is volume of the cylinder? Pi d squared by 4, that is cross sectional area into its length. Now use product rule of logarithms, and this is how you can write now. Log V is log pi by 4 plus twice log D. Here it is d squared involved plus log L. And now differentiate this equation, and what you get is dV upon V is twice dd upon D plus dL upon L. So in short, volumetric strain of a cylindrical bar is twice strain in diameter plus strain in length. So under the action of forces, we can find strain in volume of the bar and therefore change in volume of the bar. So what we have studied up till now, simple. Strain in the direction of force, that is longitudinal strain, and strain perpendicular to the line of force, that is lateral strain. Longitudinal strain is P upon AE and lateral strain is nu times P upon AE, but opposite to the longitudinal strain. Volumetric strain, that is change in volume divided by original volume. Volumetric strain of rectangular block is strain in length plus strain in width plus strain in thickness. And volumetric strain of a cylindrical bar is strain in diameter twice. Volumetric strain of cylindrical bar is twice strain in diameter plus strain in length of the bar. Now one more thing, students must be, you must be flexible in notations. In different books, different notations are used. These are common notations used for Poisson's ratio. Nu, we are going to use a nu of course, but I have seen in some books notation mu is used for Poisson's ratio, and in some books I have seen notation 1 by m is used for Poisson's ratio. Remember here, m is not Poisson's ratio, but 1 by m is Poisson's ratio. So be flexible with notations. Now let's solve this problem. A steel flat has length 1 meter and it is 10 centimeter wide and 30 millimeter thick. Check here, length is given in meter, width is given in centimeter, thickness is given in millimeters. Be very careful about units during calculations. What is asked in the problem? Let's read. Find change in length, width, thickness and volume of the bar under 250 kilonewton actual tensile load. Young's modulus of the material of the bar is 200 GPa and Poisson's ratio is 0.3. Now let's try to solve the problem. First of all, visualize the bar. This is that bar of length 1000 millimeter, width 100 millimeter and thickness 30 millimeters. All dimensions here are in millimeter. Now in this case, strain in length is longitudinal strain. So longitudinal strain is P upon AE. P upon AE is longitudinal strain. So just put the values. Load is 250 Newton in 250 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Cross-sectional area with reference to this load is 100 into thickness, 100 into 30, and Young's modulus, it's given 200 GPa, that is 200 into 10 raised to 3 MPa, and this is longitudinal strain, 1 divided by 2400. It is tensile load. That means there is increase in length. That means longitudinal strain is positive. So it is clear that lateral strain, strain in thickness and strain in width are negative. Okay. So lateral strain is nu times longitudinal strain. So just multiply this value by nu. And how much is that nu? Nu in the sense Poisson's ratio. It is 0.3. So 0.3 times 1 divided by 2400. That is lateral strain. So lateral strain, that means strain in width and strain in thickness, is minus 0.3 times 1 by 2400. So just multiply longitudinal strain by Poisson's ratio and you get lateral strain. Now volumetric strain is strain in length plus strain in thickness plus strain in width. Now substitute the values. So we have found out volumetric strain also, correct? So EL plus EB, but EB is negative, plus ET, ET is negative. So volumetric strain is 0.4 times 2400, 0.4 times 1 by 2400. So this is volumetric strain. So this is how, when you are interested in finding change in length or change in dimensions in general and change in volume of the bar, first you should find corresponding strain. Watch here. You are asked to find change in length, change in width, change in thickness and change in volume of the bar. And what we have found out? Strain in length, strain in width, strain in thickness and strain in volume of the bar. Okay. Now, change in volume is change in volume divided by original volume. That is volumetric strain. So if you multiply volumetric strain by original volume of the bar, you get change in volume. So change in volume is strain into original volume. Just substitute the values. What is volumetric strain? 0.4 divided by 2400. So put it here. So this is volumetric strain into corresponding volume, and you got the answer. So this is change in volume. When you write the answer, you must mention whether it is increase in volume or decrease in volume. Since volumetric strain is positive, it means it is increase. Now let's continue. We have found out volumetric strain and therefore change in volume. Now let's proceed. So in the same manner, change in length is strain in length into length. So strain in length into length. Just put corresponding values. Strain in length is 1 by 2400. So strain in length into original length, that is 1000 millimeter. It is given 1 meter, it's 1000 millimeter, and you got the change in length. It is increase because strain is positive. Now change in width is strain in width into original width. So change in width is, just put the corresponding values. Strain in width is minus 0.3 times minus 0.3 divided by 2400, and this is how you have found out width of the body, change in width of the body. And since this is negative, it is a decrease in width. Similarly, change in thickness is strain in thickness into original thickness, and this is how you have found out strain in thickness. This is how you have found out change in length. Now let's consider this problem. A cast iron pillar 250 mm into 250 mm section carries an axial compressive load 3500 kN. If Young's modulus of the material of the bar or the pillar is 120 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per millimeter squared and Poisson's ratio is mu times 0.25, find change in area of the cross section of the pillar. Remember, here you are asked to find change in area of the cross section. So what you are going to find out? Strain in cross sectional area. So here is the pillar. There is 3500 kilonewton load on the pillar. EL, that is strain in length of the pillar. It is P upon AE. Strain in length is longitudinal strain, but the applied load is compressive load. That's why I've used negative sign. Because of the compressive load, there will be decrease in length of the member. There will be decrease in length of the member. So it is, therefore here negative sign is used. Now just complete the calculation. Simple. This is applied load and cross sectional area is 250 millimeter into 250 millimeter. So this dimension is 250 millimeters. This dimension is 250 millimeters. So this is cross sectional area and Young's modulus of the material. So strain in length P upon AE, that is longitudinal strain, is minus 7 divided by 15,000. So automatically you have found out now. Now of course you have found out now strain in width and strain in thickness. And it is mu times. What is mu? Poisson's ratio. It is mu times longitudinal strain. So just put the values and you have found out lateral strain. Lateral strain is strain in width and strain in thickness, that is 7 divided by 16,000. So this strain is lateral strain, and lateral strain in this case positive, that means width and thickness are increasing in this case. So overall area will increase. If you want to find change in volume, first you find strain in volume. Now in this case, you are asked to find change in area of the cross section. So you should find strain in area of the cross section. So strain in area, cross sectional area is width into thickness. So strain in area is strain in width plus strain in thickness. And this is how you have found out strain in area. Do you remember how we derived formula for volumetric strain of a rectangular block? We used logarithmic product rule and then we differentiated. Same logic. By the same logic, Young's modulus of strain in area is strain in width plus strain in thickness, and that comes out to be 14 divided by 60,000. So strain in area into original area. Strain in area into original area, that is change in area, and this is how you have found out change in area. Just put the values and get the answer. Now this value of strain is positive, that means it is increase in cross sectional area. Let's solve this problem. Prove that if a solid circular bar of length L and cross sectional area A is acted upon by an axial load P, the change in volume of the bar is PL upon E into, in bracket, 1 minus 2 nu. This nu is Poisson's ratio. E is modulus of elasticity and nu is Poisson's ratio. So it is, you are asked to prove something. Remember, this is a non-numerical problem, but procedure remains the same. Change in volume of the bar you want to find out, and this change in volume of the bar you should get PL upon E into, in the bracket, 1 minus 2 nu. So what you should do to find change in volume of the bar? Simple. Find strain in volume of the bar of this cylinder. Here is bar acted upon by axial load P, and you are asked to find out change in volume of the bar. So let's proceed. Strain in length is P upon AE, and strain in diameter is of course nu times P upon AE. Strain in diameter is lateral strain, and lateral strain is nu times longitudinal strain. Now under this load P, we have shown it tensile load. Lateral strain is negative because it will be reduction in diameter of the bar. Now strain in volume of a cylindrical bar is strain in length plus twice strain in diameter. So volumetric strain, now we have just substituted the value. Strain in length is P upon AE. Strain in diameter is nu times P upon AE, but it is twice ED here, so 2 times. And this is how we have found out volumetric strain. Change in volume is strain in volume into the volume. So let's put the value. Strain in volume is P upon AE into 1 minus 2 mu, that is strain into the volume. So volume is length into area. So area will get cancelled here. At denominator it's area, at a numerator area. And this is how you have found out change in volume. It is PL upon E into 1 minus 2 nu. So what you have studied up till now, remember, if you want to find change in length, change in width, change in thickness, change in cross-sectional area, change in volume, first thing you should do is to find corresponding strains. And strain into initial dimension, that gives you change in the dimension. Now try to understand what is biaxial loading and triaxial loading. Here is a bar of length L, width B, thickness T. It is acted upon by a load. The line of load, let's assume x-axis. So this is uniaxial loading. It is actually loaded bar as usual, you can say. This load is along x-axis. Now it has become biaxial loading because we have applied force, pull type of force, tensile force along y-axis also. So this is biaxial loading. Now this is very important to understand. Under load along x-axis, and here x-axis is along length. So because of this load, strain in length is longitudinal strain, and strain in width and strain in thickness are lateral strains. Now because of this load which is along y-axis, strain in thickness is longitudinal strain, and strain in length and strain in width are lateral strains. Also remember, with reference to load along y-axis, the area on which this load is, that cross-sectional area is to be considered length into width. This is that cross-sectional area with reference to this load, and with reference to load along x-axis, cross-sectional area to be considered T into B. So right now in this diagram, it is biaxial loading. And now I have applied load along z-axis also. So it is triaxial loading. Now because of this load along z-axis, strain in width is longitudinal strain, but strain in thickness and strain in length are lateral strains. So under this triaxial loading, what is strain in length? If you want to know, so it's very simple. We apply principle of superposition, where number of loads are acting together on an elastic material. The resultant strain is the sum of individual strains caused by each load acting separately. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Strain in length because of load along x-axis, strain in length because of load along y-axis, and strain in length again because of load along z-axis. If you add these three strains, you will get net strain in length under these three loads. Total strain in thickness is strain in thickness due to load along y-axis plus strain in thickness due to load along z-axis plus strain in thickness due to load along x-axis. You will understand it better. Here is a bar. It is acted upon by load along x-axis. So longitudinal strain is strain in length. In this case, longitudinal strain is strain in length. Strain in thickness and strain in width, these are lateral strain. So strain in thickness and strain in width, nu times longitudinal strain, but negative. So because of load along x-axis, there is strain in length, strain in width and strain in thickness. What is strain in length? Longitudinal strain, that is P upon AE. And what is strain in width and thickness? Nu times P upon AE. And what is that P? Magnitude of this load. And what is the cross-sectional area? B into T. Okay. Now it is the same bar, but we have considered the load that is acting along y-axis. Now because of this load along y-axis, there is longitudinal strain in thickness. So strain in thickness is longitudinal strain, and therefore strain in length and strain in width are lateral strains. So because of force along y-axis, there are strains in these three directions. Now it is the same bar. There is a load along z-axis, and because of this load, strain in width is longitudinal strain, and strain in length is lateral strain, strain in thickness is lateral strain. So longitudinal strain is strain in width. This strain is P upon AE, and lateral strain is nu times P upon AE, but opposite to strain in width. Now in this case, what is P? It is magnitude of this force, P upon AE. And what is A? Is length into thickness, cross-sectional area with reference to this axis. Strain in length because of load along x-axis, strain in length because of load along y-axis, and strain in length because of load along z-axis. So if you add these three strains, you will get actual strain in length because of these loads along three axes, because of this triaxial loading. So now what is strain in thickness? So there is strain in thickness because of load along x-axis. There is strain in thickness because of load along y-axis. And there is strain in thickness because of load along z-axis. So add these strains and you will get total strain in thickness. Similarly, strain in width due to force along x-axis, strain in width due to force along y-axis, and strain in width due to force along z-axis. If you add these three strains, you will get net strain along width. We'll solve problem and you will understand it better. A rectangular block is acted upon by forces along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis as shown in figure. Given dimensions of the block are in millimeter. Take Young's modulus 2 into 10 raised to 4 kilonewton per centimeter squared, that is 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter squared. Remember, 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter squared. Be careful about unit. Here the value, that is value of Young's modulus, is given in kilonewton per centimeter squared. I have seen many students making mistakes in units, so be very careful about this. Poisson's ratio is 0.3, and find change in length, change in width, change in thickness and change in volume of the bar. Okay. So now watch it. We know that longitudinal strain is P upon AE. Longitudinal does not mean strain in length. Longitudinal means strain in the direction of force or strain along the line of force. Lateral strain is opposite to longitudinal strain. It is nu times longitudinal strain. You can write it in terms of stress, you can write it in terms of loads. Now here loads are given, we are going to write it in terms of loads. Now try to understand. Strain in length is P upon AE. Now strain in length, so length is given 500 millimeter. So because of 1000 kilonewton load, strain in length is longitudinal strain. And longitudinal strain is P upon AE. What is area? Corresponding to this load, cross-sectional area is 650 into height of the bar, that is 200 millimeter. So 650 into 200, that is cross-sectional area. So P is 1000 into 10 raised to 3. It is pull type of force, so positive tension. It will be increase in length because of this load. So P upon AE, 2 into 10 raised to 5 is Young's modulus. So this is strain in length due to 1000 kilonewton force. But at the same time, there are forces along y and z axis. Now we'll consider strain in length due to 1200 kilonewton force. But because of this load, or with reference to this load line, that is with reference to y-axis, length is lateral dimension now. So because of 1200 kilonewton load, strain in length is lateral strain, and lateral strain is Poisson's ratio times P upon AE. So with reference to this load value is 1200 into 10 raised to 3. Because it is compressive load, that's why negative sign, P upon AE into 0.3. So this is lateral strain due to 1200 kilonewton load. Strain in length is lateral strain, and also 800 kilonewton load. Because of this load, strain in length is lateral strain, because with reference to this 800 kilonewton load, length is lateral dimension. So here again mu times P upon AE, but now the load we have considered, it is 800 kilonewton, it is tensile, that's positive. So in Newton, so 800 into 10 raised to 3. 2 into 10 raised to 5 is Young's modulus, and P upon AE, A is cross-sectional area. Now with reference to 800 kilonewton load, or with reference to Z axis, cross-sectional area is 200 into 500. Watch here. So this is cross-sectional area. So simple. Strain in length, strain in dimension along x-axis, that is longitudinal strain for 1000 kilonewton load, and with reference to other two loads, it is lateral strain. So this is net strain in length, 1 divided by 31250. Similarly, strain in thickness. So strain in thickness is this vertical dimension, and vertical loading is 1200 kilonewton compression. So because of 1200 kilonewton load, strain in thickness is longitudinal strain P upon AE, and because of these other two loads, lateral strain mu times P upon AE. But corresponding values you substitute carefully. Strain in thickness. Now try to understand. Because of 1200 kilonewton load, negative sign because it is compressive load. So it is reduction in thickness because of 1200 kilonewton load. So it's negative sign. Then corresponding cross-sectional area. With reference to y-axis, cross-sectional area is 500 into 650. And Young's modulus. Now because of 1000 kilonewton load, strain in thickness is lateral strain, so 0.3 times P upon AE. Just put corresponding values of load and Young's modulus and cross-sectional area. Just put corresponding values of load and cross-sectional area. And this is strain due to 800 kilonewton load. But because of 800 kilonewton load, strain in thickness is lateral strain. That's why it's not P upon AE, it is nu times P upon AE. And lateral strain is always opposite. Okay. So this is strain in thickness, it is negative. 21 divided by 500,000, or 5 into 10 raised to 5. Okay. Now strain in width. Strain in width. Now along width is along Z direction. So because of 800 kilonewton, it is P upon AE. And because of other two loads, it is nu times P upon AE. It's that simple. So P upon AE. Put corresponding cross-sectional area carefully. With reference to Z axis, cross-sectional area is 200 into 500. Check here. Now this area 200 into 650 corresponds to 1000 kilonewton load. 1000 kilonewton load is along x-axis. So corresponding cross-sectional area is 200 into 650. So here it is. Lateral strain is minus nu times P upon AE. This is also lateral strain minus nu times P upon AE. But don't forget that here load is compressive load. So I have considered negative sign here. And this is how you have found out strain in width. Now we have found out strain in length. It will help you to find change in length. We have found out strain in thickness. It will help you to find change in thickness. And we have also found out strain in width here. And this will help you to find change in width. But what about change in volume? So to find change in volume, you will have to find out strain in volume. And it's very easy. For rectangular block, strain in volume is EL plus ET plus EB. So volumetric strain is EL plus ET plus EB. So this is how you will get volumetric strain. Now simple, change in length is strain in length into L. we have found out strain in length. We have found out change in length. Strain positive, strain in length is positive, that means it is increase in length. Similarly, change in thickness, that is strain in thickness into original thickness, and we have found out change in thickness. This strain in thickness is negative, so corresponding change in thickness is decrease in dimension. Strain in width and strain in volume. So just simple, strain into original dimension. So strain in width into original width, and you will get this answer. And strain in volume into original volume, and you will get this answer. Check here, volumetric strain is positive. So change in volume is increase in volume. Thank you for watching my video. If you are satisfied with this video, please like the video, share the video, subscribe my channel. In my next video, we are going to study relation between bulk modulus, shear modulus, Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio. It will be a very important video. We'll meet soon.